Hello, you lovelies. Let's talk about The Penguin episode 3. This is far and away my favorite show on television right now. And so far, this is my absolute favorite episode because I think it does all the things this show does best, but in one, greatest hits episode. Very excited to dive in. If you're new to this page, I do comic book news and reviews, as well as movie news and reviews, and sometimes TV news and reviews. So please, if you like movies, if you like TV, if you like comic books, hit that subscription bell. On the road to 36K in honor of my very recent 36th birthday. Please hit that subscription bell. Also, leave a like in this video. And most importantly, let's have a conversation in the comments. This is a show I adore. This is the kind of show that if I was growing up, if I was in high school or if I was in college, this is the kind of conversation show I'd want to sit around and actually talk about. And through the power of YouTube, through the power of the internet, we can do that in the comments. I want to talk to you about this show, so let's have a talk in the comments below. Without further ado, The Penguin episode 3. This show is everything I want from adapting characters I love. It's not adapting from any specific comic book. It certainly feels like The Long Halloween in the Mafia Falcone elements. It certainly feels like the Penguin Pride and Prejudice stuff. It certainly feels like Tom King's Run, but because it's not those things, I get to be surprised at every twist and turn. Now, this is a show that leverages people's insecurity, and this is a show that leverages what it is to be in a horrible situation and to manipulate others and knowing your strengths and weaknesses. And that's something I've always loved about the Penguin. He knows people are going to doubt him. He knows that people are going to think he's weak, and then he keeps track of all the ways he can leverage that. Now, I want to go play by play through each of the scenes in this show that really stuck out to me and how I think it's some of the best writing since Breaking Bad. So the opening world builds in such a genius way because this is how you make Gotham feel real. This is how you make a bridge show be not only its own incredible thing, which again, this is, I think, the best show on TV, but this enhances the Batman. We could only do so much in a 2.5-hour movie to show the horrors of the Riddler's attack. And the third act of Batman absolutely shows the horrors. The impact of the mayoral murder, the impact of the physical devastation, and some of the impact to the population of Gotham. To see it from the eye line of the population, to see it from what Victor went through and the trauma of what Victor went through. This episode builds on, it's a Victor-centric episode, but this episode builds on why he got in the position that he was in to be stealing tires and give him that Robin origin. He is in this position because of the Riddler, and we see the devastation from the POV of someone that was physically there, and I think that is so impactful. We've seen it from Batman's point of view, the explosions off in the distance. Now we're living it, and the scene of this family, to establish them so quickly as so loving, it also gave us a beautiful metaphor for the whole arch of this episode. This arc is about wanting more and ambition, and sometimes that being the death of you, and I think it will be the death of Victor. His dad saying, we've already come from so little and look at where we are now. We should be so happy with what we have now. And Victor just wants more and more and more. And this whole episode is about what it costs to get more and more and more. And what it costs Penguin to get here. What it costs Sofia to get here. We'll get to that more later. But I love the opening with his family. And to see him lose them gives us more about Gotham, gives us more about the Batman, the movie itself, gives us more about what the Riddler's attack was, but it also shows us who Victor is. So we jump ahead. It also establishes a beautiful relationship. We are so immediately in love with that girl he's got a crush on, with that love story that's percolating. We also see how his dad perceives the criminal element, the Squid character being a drug dealer, and how Victor's better than that, and how he doesn't want his kid in that world. And then obviously we know he ends up in that world because Gotham loses everything. And this whole episode reinstills what that attack did to Gotham. These kids lost everything. This whole generation doesn't have a home. Their world is flooded. They're living in FEMA camps. They're trapped in this complete loss. And the drug that gets developed in this episode, that opioid of the masses, in this case a literal opioid, something to numb, something to get through the pain of losing everything. And I love that his girl is someone that's just leaving. This is not for her. She's going to start a better life in California. And the entire episode, you wonder if Vic is going to go with her. The entire episode, you're wondering if this is how we lose Victor. Because I think we lose Victor to dying. I don't think he's Victor Zsasz like a lot of people do. I'm afraid the season finale or somewhere much like Jesse Pinkman was supposed to die in Breaking Bad, and I brought that up a few times, I'm afraid Walter White, in this case the Penguin, is going to have to kill Victor, because I thought this whole episode maybe he does get out, maybe he leaves this world, maybe that's the beauty of like the escape of Gotham, because we have plenty to tell with Penguin and Sofia. Victor's the third lead, and there's so much building with Victor and Sofia, with Penguin and Sofia. Let's go to those guys now. So Penguin in this episode, we find out he is specifically responsible, even more so, for what happened to Sofia. We find out whatever atrocities it is, and there's the whole back and forth of trust. There's the back and forth of partnership. There's the finding out, like, the driver element, paralleling like that to Victor. And that's another reason I think a betrayal is coming. Like, with Victor being Penguin's driver, and with Penguin having been Sofia's driver and betraying her, and how deep that goes. No one trusting Sofia because of her time in Arkham. Even potential business allies with the Triads who were betrayed by her father. I love the tapestry of the crime elements in this show. So we went from Victor. Let's talk about Sofia for a minute. I'm going to end on Penguin. Sofia in this episode, Kristen Milioti, oh my God. I feel like the next scene we should talk about is the one in their apartment, and Penguin's apartment that he's now letting Victor crash in. What Sofia does coming into that environment, and what she does making sure she's the one in power, how she's like, it's a nice place, understated, whereas Victor's like overwhelmed by it. And later in the episode, his girl is like, how so bougie. I love that power play. I love the scene with the lighter. I love giving some exposition while also showing she's in control, not letting Penguin bring Victor. Sofia's the one in charge, and she makes sure everyone knows that. She makes sure the Triads know that later. She makes sure that Penguin knows it by saying, like, you're just my ex-driver. You're not the one doing this deal. This is my deal. She makes sure everyone knows that in the meeting that Penguin sets up with the underboss of the Triad. And I love the underboss of the Italian Mafia, that great actor, being leveraged, and the photos that Penguin had, and the way he is being manipulated, and how he deserves it, the way he treats Sofia. Because again, Sofia's the one always in charge. She's got the one thinking 3 steps ahead. She's playing chess with everyone. And I love the moment where she starts to break, and she says, you know just what to say, don't you, Oz? And Oz doesn't know how to respond to that because that's his superpower. He's always got the right thing to say. And then she immediately realizes, moment of weakness. I'm taking control of the situation. I am going to change the narrative here. This is my deal. I don't trust you. You screwed me over. And I cannot wait to see what happens with that in the future, because the end of the episode is finally they seem to be on the same page. Finally, it looks like Oz and Sofia don't trust each other, but Oz is trying to earn it back. He apologizes, it's sincere, and he wants Sofia to let him try to get some modicum of trust back. Seconds later, it all goes tits up, and then we've got him betraying her immediately, getting in the car, leave her. And I love Sofia, and I love that somehow against all odds, I love Oz, and I love that they're both using each other, but they're both acknowledging that they're both trying to take step-ups to survive in this world, and Oz would never have gotten there without what he did to Sofia, so it was worth it for the life he has, but he will always feel sorry that it cost Sofia 10 years. He'll always feel sorry that Sofia meant something to him, and she's still the one steering so much of this. And Kristen Milioti, Emmys for days. She is incredible in this role. I've never cared more about Sofia Falcone in my life. I've never been more intrigued by the Hangman mystery. I love that Victor is intimidated by her with good cause, and she starts to show a little bit of humanity piece by piece, and there's so much there that is powerful. Now, I do want to skip over to Penguin, but I do want to also acknowledge some of the scene work in... actually, we'll start with Penguin at the scene between him and Victor. That is some of the most incredible writing and scene work I've seen in TV, with the paternal nature of his relationship, with the pride, all the while Victor's deciding how he's going to try to tell him he wants to leave, all the while being the force of nature and the figurehead that Victor has needed, that father figurehead, but also take up space, stand your ground, don't let them cut you off. You need to be this person. The empathy for his dad never having nice things, nice food, that experience, his love for the working man, the blue collar element of a mechanic should be the American dream, all of that manipulating Victor, but not in a way that feels like it's manipulating in a negative. He truly sees the world that way, and that's how Penguin's had to get there. And then you find out Penguin had to get there by betraying Sofia. It's all this brilliant chessboard, all while this one scene at the dinner is to get to that woman so they can manipulate the underboss. This one scene at the dinner shows who Penguin is, shows who Victor is, shows that Victor does truly look up to Penguin, and that Penguin genuinely has the Victor's best interest at heart for now. And there's a few shots where there's the snarl of the Penguin, but it's almost joyous to see because he's got this warmth towards Victor. He's still just as mangled and penguiny, but you really care about their relationship over food. You really care about that money and that leverage, all while he's making jokes like, cost of the job. And I love that scene with Victor and the cop. This is exactly what you want out of a crime show, out of an adaptation of these characters that doesn't have to follow comic books. Like, I liked but didn't love Joker Folie à Deux. I gave it like 3 out of 5, a 6.5 out of 10. Liked it. I liked the ending more than I liked the movie, but I've gotten crap for days about even liking that movie. This is the other extent of it where I love it. This is how you make something dark and gritty, but like true. This is an authentic version of these characters without sacrificing the characters. Joker is not Joker. He never was Joker. He wasn't Joker in the first movie. He's not Joker in this movie. Harley Quinn's not Harley Quinn. This is Penguin, but in our world that feels authentic and real, and that's why I love the Matt Reeves universe. To me, the Matt Reeves universe is a 10. This show is a 10. I can appreciate Joker being like a 6 and taking swings. This is taking swings while being authentic to the characters, while being the Penguin, while manipulating us as an audience, and while telling the story of the Falcones in such a genius way that makes us care about a world that we wouldn't have otherwise, while giving us a crime show like Sopranos or Breaking Bad, while using these characters without betraying who they are. This is peak adaptation. This is how you do this long form. I said episode 1 and 2, this is Daredevil on Netflix, and it truly is for me. This is that caliber of show. To end it with a cliffhanger shows the power of episodic. I miss shows not being binged. I love the weekly model. I like having water cooler conversation. I want to talk about this week to week. What a cliffhanger to literally end the show with the 3 plot lines. Victor, should I stay or should I go? Sofia, I am betrayed by this man. I don't want to trust him, but I have to trust him in this situation. Penguin, no one believes in me. I'm finally getting some power. How do I get here and not once again harm those I love or care about, even a little? He clearly cares about Sofia, betrays her, because that's how he gets ahead. Victor, he literally is saying, like, now you're in, kid, you're really in. Victor should have left, now he's stuck staying. And Penguin has some power, but at what cost? Genius. All while Penguin is an absolutely hilarious character. There's some lines in here that are absolutely so, like, belly laugh funny. All while Sofia is just this soulful eye. Like, her eyes are so much empathy and sorrow and pain and what she's went through, the acting from the two of them. And then Victor, the acting from him being this kid stuck on these two sides of the world, absolutely from nothing. He lost everything because of the Riddler, trapped in Gotham, giving us more about Gotham. 3 leads, all with perfect arcs, all in a perfect show. Show's a 10 out of 10. My favorite episode of my favorite show so far. I adore this show. Let's talk about it in the comments below. There's more scenes that I didn't have time to get to, but the dinner scene is incredible. That opening scene is incredible. Everything with Sofia is incredible. It is perfect television. The drug dealing scene, the game of chess, those glances back and forth, them seeing what level of lies they can get away with, everything. The party scene where he's having those flashbacks, the lights and the sound causing him to have the PTSD of the experience he went through, losing everything he ever loved. And now that's his new life, and it being a warning sign from his nervous system to get out of there and don't do this, but he needs to. That's all he's got. And then he tries to leave and doesn't get to. He decides that he has to stay because of that conversation in the bathroom. Didn't even talk about the conversation in the bathroom. I could talk about this show for an hour, but I know videos can only be so long before people click out. So hopefully you stayed for the end of this. Let me know in the comments below, what was your favorite scene? Was it the dinner scene? Was it the scene in Penguin's apartment with the 3 of them? Was it the Penguin scene, a Penguin apartment with him and his girlfriend? Was it the opening explode? Like, let's have a conversation, because this episode is going to bring so much conversation out of me. I love it so very much. I love this show. It is my favorite thing on TV. It is my favorite adaptation of a comic character, long form since Daredevil. It is one of my favorite adaptations of these characters I love dearly ever. I wish Bill Finger and Bob Kane were alive to see Penguin taken so seriously, and I love that we're getting to take these characters seriously, because we've gotten to this point in the culture, in the comic book culture, to do something like this, to make this big of a swing. The acting couldn't be more perfect. The writing couldn't be more perfect. The directing couldn't be more perfect. I am so happy, and I hope you're happy too. Let me know by leaving a like. Let me know by leaving a comment. Let's have a conversation, as I said. Let me know by subscribing to this page. Also, if you stay to the end of this video, you're the first to find out I am teaming up with The Real Rejects. The Real Rejects are going to be producing. So Greg and I are teaming up to produce my content for a month. So for a month, and maybe beyond, depending on how things go, because we're going to test this out, this page is going to be a Real Rejects production, which means it's going to be higher quality, it's going to be edited by a team, it's going to be tweaked a bit. We're going to be playing around with thumbnails, playing around with SEO, playing around with growing this page to scale as produced with great appreciation by The Real Reject. Greg and I are going to maybe partner up a bit more going forward. So I'm curious how that goes. So this is probably the last time. This is Stream of Consciousness for the month. This is probably the last time for a little bit. You get this set up. There's going to be some more out of the theater reviews. I'm going to be covering My Hero Academia this week. Saturday night, going to be covered this week. A live This Week in Comics this week, as well as the usual Agatha, as well as next week's Penguin. So lots of stuff coming this week. I think like 5 or 6 videos this week, but at a different level, and I hope you guys tune in, and actually I'd love to know in the comments below, are you excited for that as well? A different style of editing, different style of thumbnail, different set, all of that stuff coming very, very soon. Much love. Leave a comment about the show, about if you think I should stick to Stream of Consciousness in my house or go more polished. Let's talk about it, and let's talk about The Penguin, my favorite show on TV. If you can't tell, I'm ecstatic. I adore this show. Cannot wait for episode 4. Much love to you. I hope you love it as much as I do. I'll see you guys next week, and I'll see you tomorrow or soon for My Hero and everything else coming. All right. Bye, guys.